his voice barely more than a whisper. Sierra felt her cheeks flush, her heart pounding in her chest. "I've never met anyone like you either," she admitted, her voice trembling. Before she could say anything else, Adrian leaned in, his lips brushing against hers in a soft, tentative kiss. Sierra's breath hitched, her body tensing at the unfamiliar sensation. But as the kiss deepened, she felt herself relax, melting into his embrace. The world around them seemed to fade away as they lost themselves in each other. Adrian's hands slid down to her waist, pulling her closer, while Sierra's fingers tangled in his hair, her body pressing against his. There was a hunger in his kiss, a desperate need that she could feel all the way down to her bones. Without breaking the kiss, Adrian guided her toward the bedroom, his movements slow and deliberate. He laid her down gently on the bed, his hands roaming over her body as he continued to kiss her with a fervor that left her breathless. Sierra had never been with anyone before, and she felt a mix of fear and exhilaration at the thought of what was about to happen. But as Adrian's lips moved down to her neck, she let out a soft moan, her body arching up toward him in response. He paused for a moment, his lips hovering just above her skin, and she could feel his breath hot against her neck. "Are you sure about this?" he asked, his voice rough with desire. Sierra nodded, her eyes fluttering open to meet his. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm sure." With that, Adrian's lips returned to her neck, his fangs grazing her skin as he kissed her hungrily. Sierra's hands clutched at his shoulders, her body trembling with anticipation as he continued to explore her with his mouth and hands. Together in perfect harmony. Sierra had never felt anything like it before, and she was overwhelmed by the intensity of it all. Adrian was gentle and yet possessive, his touch both tender and demanding. As dawn began to break, they finally collapsed onto the bed, their bodies spent and sated. Sierra curled up against Adrian, her head resting on his chest as she listened to the steady beat of his heart. For the first time in her life, she felt truly content, as if she had finally found a place where she belonged. But little did she know, that night would change everything. In the weeks that followed, Sierra settled into her new life at the academy. She excelled in her studies, all the while harboring a secret that only Adrian knew. She had begun to feel strange, with bouts of dizziness and nausea that she couldn't explain. It wasn't until she visited the campus clinic that she got the news. She never thought it was possible for a vampire to impregnate a human. When she told Adrian, he was equally shocked. In all his centuries of existence, he had never heard of a human and vampire creating life together. It was unprecedented, a miracle that defied everything he knew about his kind. "This has never happened before," Adrian said, a mix of fear and wonder in his eyes. "No human has ever conceived a child with a vampire. You and our child are extraordinary." Sierra didn't know what to think. She had come to the city to pursue her dreams, to escape her past, not to become part of a supernatural anomaly. But as she looked at Adrian, she saw something in his eyes, hope, love, and an unspoken promise to protect her and their unborn child. "What do we do now?" she asked, her voice trembling. Adrian took her hand, his touch cool but comforting. "We face this together," he said firmly. "We'll navigate this new world, just as we did the first night we met. No matter what happens, I will be here for you and our child." Sierra nodded, feeling a strange sense of peace wash over her. Despite the uncertainty of what lay ahead, she knew she wasn't alone. With Adrian by her side, she was ready to embrace whatever the future held, even if it meant stepping into the unknown. For the first time, she felt truly alive, ready to face the challenges and miracles that life had to offer.